So today, for Mr. Fisher's Read Aloud, we're going to be looking at another book by Phoebe Gilman. You remember last time we read Something from Nothing, and today we're going to be reading The Blue Hippopotamus. And this one is illustrated by Joanne Fitzgerald. This is an absolutely lovely story which will absolutely fill your heart. Phoebe Gilman, The Blue Hippopotamus, based on a story by Joan Grant. Long ago, long ago, and far away, in the land of the Pharaohs, there lived a little hippopotamus named Hapu. Each day, just as the rays of the sun turned the Nile River to rippling gold, he came down to wallow in the squishy, squashy mud. One morning, as he nibbled a tasty green reed, he heard the sound of splashing and giggling. "What's that?" he said, looking about. It was Marianne, the Pharaoh's daughter. She was so playful, splashing around in the water and diving off the warm rocks, that the little hippopotamus fell in love. "I want to play too," he called out, and he swam over to meet her. "Help! Help!" she screamed, and rushed away. His friends all laughed at him. "You are very silly, Hapu. A little girl cannot play with a hippopotamus." Hapu sank back down in the mud. "It is true," he said. "She can never love me as I love her." Said a heron who was catching fish nearby. "I wouldn't be too sure of that. Stranger things have happened. I was once a butterfly, but I grew tired of being so little and went to see the great magician who lives in the cave beyond the pyramids. Now see how grand I am?" Hapu rose out of the mud. He wanted to hear more, but the heron flew away. "Beyond the pyramids," Hapu said. "I have never been that far by myself, but I should be able to get there if I try. Surely if the magician can change a butterfly into a heron, he can change me into a boy. Then Marianne will not be afraid to play with me." Hapu followed the Nile, past the pyramids, until at last he saw a heron with a very startled look on its face, flying out of a cave. It might easily have been a butterfly only a few minutes ago, thought Hapu. He peeked into the cave. There was the magician. "Please, sir," Hapu said, "would you change me into a prince so that Marianne will love me?" "A human?" said the magician. "No, I cannot do that. I have tried that particular magic many times, but I've never been able to get it right. There must be a secret ingredient that I am missing." A large tear ran out of Hapu's eye and splashed on the floor. He turned to go. "Wait," said the magician. "There are lots of other things that little girls love. Is she vain? I could turn you into a mirror." "Oh, no," said Hapu, "not at all vain." "Is she greedy? I could turn you into a large sausage." "Sausage?" "Not a sausage," Hapu said. "Perhaps something to play with. I am too big. I frighten her." "Ah, a toy. Excellent suggestion," said the magician. "What shape do you prefer?" "I don't want to sound conceited," said Hapu, "but I think that hippos are really the nicest shape. Too large, perhaps, but a very nice shape." The magician shook his wand over Hapu's head. "Sheshu, sheshu, kalabasha." Suddenly, the walls of the cave seemed very far away, and the magician very tall. His voice boomed from far above. "What do you think?" "Is that really me?" asked the hippopotamus. I'm blue. Yes, lovely color, isn't it? Said the magician. Now I shall find a traitor to take you to Mariam. Suppose she doesn't want me, whispered Hapu. I am certain she will, said the magician. But just in case, I have given you one wish. If she doesn't want you, simply say, I wish to be a real hippo again. The magician waved his wand and began to sing softly, Shashu, shashu, shashusha. And Hapu fell fast asleep. He awoke just as the traitor was lifting him up to show Mariam. Oh, she said, please, 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 may I have him, father? The pharaoh gave the traitor 2 gold coins, and Mariam took the toy hippo's string. I shall call you Hapu. Follow me, Hapu, she said, and she pulled him round and round. The toy hippo was very happy, even though he did prefer the feel of soft, squelchy mud to the rumble bumping of wheels. Wherever Mariam went, the toy hippo went too. Watch me, she called as she dove off off the rocks. Then she giggled and splashed him with water. You shall have a bath too. When Mariam ate her dinner, Hapu sat beside her plate, and often she fed him honey and sesame cakes. But as the years passed, Mariam began to leave him on the cedar chest next to her bed. Though she remembered to pat him before she went to sleep, for most of the day he was lonely, listening for her footsteps. One evening, Mariam picked him up and stroked him gently. He felt a tear splash on his back. Dear little hippopotamus, she said, you are lucky to be made of clay. You don't know what it feels like to be lonely. How I wish my own true love would find me. Then she put him down and blew out her lamp. Hapu lay awake in the darkness. I can never be Mariam's own true love. I cannot make her happy. Then he remembered. I still have my wish. He thought of basking in the sun and talking to his friends. He could almost taste the crisp green plants on his tongue and feel the squishy mud between his toes. I could be my old self again, or... He sighed and wished his one wish. May Mariam find her own true love, and may they live happily ever after. The next morning, a young prince came upriver. Just as the little hippopotamus had done, he fell in love with Mariam, and she fell in love with him. On the day they were married, a careless servant knocked Hapu off the cedar chest. He felt himself falling and closed his eyes as he broke into pieces. What a curious sensation this breaking apart is, he thought. I feel quite dizzy and light. Poor Hapu, he broke. What's going to happen? Up and up, Hapu drifted like a cloud. Down below, he saw the magician's cave. I have changed many animals and granted many wishes, said the magician, but you were the only one to wish unselfishly for another's happiness instead of your own. I love, see how it's that kind of like a cloud is a Hapu shape. Blown by the wind and warmed by the stars, Hapu fell fast asleep. The floods of summer came and went, and still he slept. The fields were sown, the crops were gathered, and still he slept. High above the earth and out among the stars, he slept until one day he heard someone calling to him. Hapu awoke and smiled. Do you know what's going to happen? I didn't when I read this the first time. Marianne smiled back and said, you are the most beautiful little baby that ever was born. What happened to Hapu? What did Hapu become? and that is the blue hippopotamus. As my friends know, I love stories with problems. Those are the most interesting stories to me, where the character has a problem and they are trying to solve that problem. And in this, what was the hippopotamus's problem? What was Hapu's problem? His problem, yeah, he loved the princess, but he was a hippo, so she couldn't love him back, and he just wanted to be something that she would love. And you'd think, and what I love about the story is that in a way that we didn't expect, his wish came true. Like, we thought, oh no, he's broken. But then, because he cared so much, he became the baby that she would love. And I just thought, oh, what a wonderful story. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.